Yo, what's up, guys? Dante here, back with another video. Today's video, we are going to do a quick little recap on Conference Championship Sunday. As you already know, in the AFC, we had Kansas City versus Baltimore. This game, I did not get to see um, much of the first quarter. I think by the time I got home, it was like the midway part of the second quarter, and I saw from that point on to the end. So I'm not really sure what happened in the first quarter. Judging by the box score, it was a tie game, and then Kansas City essentially scored just enough points to just hold off for the victory. A couple of takeaways. So that second half with Kansas City did absolutely nothing. They made a couple big plays here and there, but overall they didn't. They did very little. Oh, excuse me. They did very little in that second half. Um, if I'm being honest, Kansas City should have lost this game. Baltimore essentially beat themselves up. Lamar, he people come to his defense like blindly, like they don't take anything into consideration. Lamar Jackson has a lot of flaws, the very obvious flaws. Defenses confuse him. They defenses confuse him a lot, even to this day, and he's been in the league like 5 years. He's like just he's still very easy to read. And he still has an issue hitting the deep ball. There were about 3 or 4 deep balls in that second half that if he connects on like one or two of them, it's a completely different ball game. Um, and then there was the whole thing with the taunting. I seen what the penalties are. That stuff is so benign. How do you even call that? Somebody I was on Twitter, and a guy said um there should be no taunting in professional. There should be no penalties for taunting in professional sports, and I believe that. It's not like it's a bunch of kids, right? These are grown men. Um, it is what it is. Look, if I catch this ball over your head, I should have every right to celebrate in your face and taunt you because you should have stopped me. That's your job, is to stop me. My job is to beat you. Your job is to stop me. And he didn't do his job, and they hit Zay Flowers. I think he got hit with did he got hit with two or was it one? I know he got hit with one. I seen that video. Um, they hit him with a personal foul. Um, and then he had the fumble. That was a big fumble. That if they scored there, that's a completely different ball game. Um, and then when they got a chance, they got a second chance, still down 10. Everything was going well. They got near the red zone, and Lamar, I don't know what he was looking at. I guess he had one of those moments where it's like first read means go, and he just threw it in the triple coverage. Likely, first of all, I don't even know why Likely ran that route. They should have audible switched to something else. Um, and even if he's going to run that route, Lamar should have had the presence of mind to go through his progression and find something else. That was an unnecessary throw. He threw it in the triple coverage. And I was looking at the play, and people were talking about, oh, there was pass interference, there was defense holding. I mean, he ran himself into a box. Where what he? I mean, how was he expecting? How did he expect to get out of that and still catch that pass? It wasn't going to happen. And then that essentially killed us because at that point, we we had to play defense again. And by the time we got the ball again, and we had to go down to score, we kicked the field goal, and we still had a chance. All we had to do was get one defensive stop, and you know, kudos to Kansas City for going super aggressive. That play was unnecessary to get the first down. I think it was only like third and I think it was less than 5 yards they needed. They did not need to go over the top. But shout out to them. They completed that pass. They got the first down, and ultimately they're going on to the Super Bowl. Um, I was very conflicted in this game because I wanted Baltimore to win. They're the hometown team, other than the Commanders. But I also love Patrick Mahomes. But if I had to choose, obviously I would have rather had the Ravens at one. But it's cool that Mahomes will get to go back and try to get his third title. Um, I think this will be a big, big Super Bowl for him. In terms of his legacy, not in terms of pressure, because I think all the pressure now is on Brock Purdy. He's never been there before. And it's a different ball game. That Super Bowl is a very different thing. Patrick has been there. This is his fourth time, so he kind of understands how to go through it. And I'm not saying that Mahomes can't lose, the Chiefs can't lose, but what I'm saying is he's been there enough times. He kind of understands the magnitude of it, right? But to him, he's already got two bowls. He's already got two chips. If he loses this game, I mean, so he'll be what? He would be what, 2-2 in Super Bowls, which is not a bad win percentage. He's 500 in Super Bowls. That's great. He's got two Super Bowls still. I mean, say what you will, but that's a good thing. Yeah, I think all the pressure is on Brock Purdy and San Francisco because one, if they lose this game, this will be the second straight Super Bowl they've lost, and this will be Kyle Shanahan will be 0-2 in Super Bowls, and that'll really test the fan base and the front office. Like they're looking at it like you start looking at him with question marks. Can this guy actually do it in the biggest of games? And then also, especially for Brock, he's overachieving. So everyone overreacts. I think he should be the guy. I have no problem with it. He should be the guy in San Francisco. He's done nothing but win. He's proven that he can come back from big deficits. So I mean, you definitely keep him as your quarterback, but you kind of start looking at him a little differently because it's been 2 weeks in a row where the offense is not producing, and I'm not sure they can pull that off a third time, especially against Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Um, and plus, in my opinion, I think I'm not going to say they lucked into it, but they got very, very fortunate that Green Bay didn't handle business and beat them last week because otherwise, I think Detroit would have been going to the Super Bowl. Detroit should have been going to the Super Bowl this week, but yeah, we already know about that choke job. Actually, matter of fact, let me go ahead and click over to this one. NFC Championship, Detroit and San Francisco. San Francisco came back from 17 points down to win the NFC Championship and to move on to the Super Bowl. My thoughts. I don't know what happened. It's like everything changed when they missed that fourth down conversion. I don't know if they lost. I don't know if they lost confidence. I don't know if the moment got too big for them. Because it seemed like once that happened, it was that, and then on the drive afterwards with San Francisco, I think that crazy catch. I think at that point, I think it kind of killed any kind of confidence they had, which is weird. That's a weird time to it's a weird time to lose your confidence, especially in a game of this magnitude. And you got to remember that fourth down play was at the end of the second quarter, and we know San Francisco went down and scored, and then they kicked off and they got the ball back and they scored again, and then they scored again and they scored again, and the next thing you know, it's freaking they're up. What was the score? 20. ended up, 28, 24 at that point, or 27, 24, whatever. And they just never looked back. Shoot, and then they scored again, and it was 34-24. And at that point, it was like, yep, this one's over. Detroit. And I was thinking, like, Detroit's going to pull a Detroit. I just know it, man. I just knew it. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like, I seen the first quarter, they were first quarter, second quarter, that beginning, they just did everything they wanted. And it's like, I don't know what happened. Like, I guess it's a combination of the crowd, their bad play calling, bad decisions, and don't give me that time management at the end. If you're down 10, um, what I don't understand is if you got all three time, if you have enough time, you don't have to get all four people. I don't know what the thought process is. You don't need all 14 points. You can't get all 14 points in one play, in one possession. When I was looking at the game, when they got within like 3 minutes and they got like near the red zone, that point, you run your plays, you get down to fourth down, kick your field goal. The crazy thing was hurt them is they could have got the ball back at the end if they had all three timeouts. They got down and it was like third and goal, and they ran the ball. And the problem is that they ran the ball in the middle of the field, and they got stopped bad. It was like that play didn't work at all. So they had to burn the timeout and kick the field goal anyway. And so that puts everything on the onside kick. You never want to put the game in the hands of a gimmick, right? Football is in football. You never want to put that. You never want to. What's the word? You never want to put the game in luck's hand. You want to have as much control as possible. If they ran another play, run something that either gets out of bounds or score. If it ain't there, you throw it away because you got two possessions anyway to come back. So all you had to do was run like a, I don't know, like a one of them little them quick outs where they run a little pick, throw it over there. If it ain't there, cool, whatever. Kick the field goal. You still got your three timeouts. You can actually kick that ball into the end zone. They get the ball to 25, play defense, get 3 stops, and have them punt, and then you never know. You get a block punt, you get a good decent return, and then at that point, but they didn't kick the field. I'm sorry, they went for it on fourth down and scored, but at that point, it's still a one possession game at that point. You still got to get a field goal to tie the game. Either way, you got to get 10 points. Either way is what I'm saying. Whether you get the 3 now or you get the 7 now, and then you get the 3 later or the 7 later, either way it doesn't matter. You would still have to probably go down a good length of the field to score again anyway. Is what I'm saying. And yeah, that was pretty much it. A big choke job. They were talking about, Lamar choked. And to be fair, I don't think that's a choke job because it's not like they were never like in the lead. If I remember, like I said, I missed the first part. No, they didn't score first. I got the notification. Kansas City scored first, then Baltimore scored and tied it. I'm not sure what happened in the second. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think this is a very big letdown, especially for Detroit. Especially what Dan Campbell said. At the press conference, he said something about. He's like, this was the year. It's going to be twice as hard to get back, and that's very true because that division you see on the right, that division is only going to get better. Kirk Cousins should be coming back. Chicago's kind of a coin flip. They're a question mark. You don't know is what's his name? I forgot the quarterback for Chicago. Is he going to take that next step to be a legit starter. Green Bay, they got momentum. They should have been in this game this year, but they kind of overachieved as well. So they're all these teams are going to get better. And now that they've won the division, they're going to be the hunted. So we're going to see how they're going to look next year as the team that everyone's vying after. You know what I'm saying? So he's right. When you got the chance, you got to seize it because you never know. You never know when or if you'll get back to this point again. Um. Yeah. So yeah. He's all he did. He spoke the honest truth. It's a harsh truth, but it's the honest truth. You never know. You can't say, oh, we'll get back next year. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantees in life. Next year they may some I mean, God forbid, something catastrophic happens and they end up going 5-12. And then they'll be the same old Lions again. And we don't want that. Detroit is good for the NFL. Them being good is good for the NFL, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, those are just my analysis, my thoughts on the NFL championship games. I thought they were good games. They were good games. They could have went either way, but one team in each game just made more plays when they needed to. One team in each game just kind of folded under the pressure. I mean, one wasn't as bad, but they still folded. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Thank you for watching. As always, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.